Hello, I'm Penny and I'm going to show you some recipes today for you to cook at home. So all the ingredients will be in your recipe packs with the recipes, and you will be able to access this as you are on YouTube. So today we're going to start with making pizza. Very simple, and I know that quite a few of you have done pizzas here at the food bank before, where we have given you the bases already done and you've just popped bits and pieces on top. Today you're actually going to make the bases as well. So it's going to be a bit messy in the kitchen, but I hope you enjoy it. So the first thing we're going to do is, in a fairly large bowl, so this is a nice sturdy bowl, going to give you, there's a packet of pizza mix here. Just shake it down. This says it's enough for 2 people. So we're going to shake it down and follow the instructions on the packet. So what it says is you need to preheat your oven to 200 degrees or gas 7. And I've got my oven over here already on. So the next thing you need to do is you need to empty the pizza mixture into your bowl, like that. And just get it everywhere. I maybe should have opened it a little bit wider. Okay. Make sure you get all of it out because it's all pre-weighed out. And then what you do, I'm just following the instructions, is you stir in the water, and you need 100 mils of warm water. So there's 100 mils of warm water, and obviously you need a spoon or a spatula or something like that, and you literally pour this into this, just like that. You can see it's there, and we're just going to stir it around to incorporate all that flour. You see how quick that is? And it's nice, coming together nicely there to a proper dough. I'm just going to keep going with that for a minute. I want it to start to leave the sides clean, which I think is what it says on the packet. I'm just going to read the packet. Mix with soft dough, then knead it well on a well-floured surface for 5 minutes until smooth. So I've got a bit of flour here, and this is some just plain flour. So I'm going to put it on my board like that, and I shall now turn this dough, again a bit messy, but we like messy in the kitchen as long as we're sensible about it. So you can see that's coming out nicely, and as you know, I don't like to, as you may know, I don't like to waste anything, I should say. So I'm going to scrape it all off like that. Make sure it's all out of the bowl as well. There we are. So there's my empty bowl. That's pretty good, isn't it? So get rid of that bowl. And then the kneading starts. Now this, first of all, I'm just a reminder that when you're in the kitchen, certainly make sure you have an apron on, and if you have got one, and also ensure that you've got clean hands, so you've washed your hands. Now there is a method to washing hands. You wet them slightly, you use some soap, and then you rub up and down into all those crevices. I think we're all used to washing hands. Make sure you go right up to, now you can see that I'm wearing gloves. It doesn't make any difference whether you're wearing gloves or you've just got your hands. You still wash your hands exactly the same way. Now the recommended idea is that you sing happy birthday twice to make sure that you've actually got your hands well washed. But the rule of thumb, irrespective of whether we've got a pandemic going on, is wash your hands in the kitchen. And this is the method that all people who have food hygiene certificates follow with the washing of the hands. So it should be a really, really careful washing of the hands. So you can see I've been talking to you for a while. I'm washing my hands. Now back into the water. My water's now pretty hot. So you be careful with water, get rid of all those soap suds, and then just dry them quickly. And I would say that my hands are lovely and ready for kneading. So we've got the dough and we've got the flour. It's very, very soft and pliable. So I'm just taking a little bit and just gradually folding it over. Just folding it over from the outside into the inside and just pulling it a little bit. Outside, inside, outside, inside, and just going round, and I'm turning it all the time as well. So I think you can see that, and it's getting nice and pliable. This has got to be done for 5 minutes. So what I would suggest is if there's a couple of children, you cut that dough in half and you give each of them the opportunity of doing their kneading. So this doesn't look like it's going to make a huge pizza, but it's going to make 2 pizzas apparently, according to the... So you can roll as well, you can throw it around a bit. It doesn't harm it at all. It's not like pastry. The more you pull it, the more that you're using and working the gluten in the bread. So, but just make sure you've got clean surfaces, you've got plenty of flour, and your hands are clean. Have a bucket of water nearby so that if you get too messy, you can just pop your hands in that water. And you just see I just add a little bit more flour. It's beginning to get a bit sticky. So I'm happy with that. That's looking quite nice. So I think we said we're going to cut that into 2. So I'm going to do it just literally with my hand through the middle like that. You could take a knife. So I'm going to take that one and I'm just going to roll it around with my hand into the palm of my hand. So I'm just rolling and rolling. Turn it over a bit more. I'm really putting quite a lot of pressure on that to get it into a nice round shape. Again, I make sure there's some flour. And now, as you can see, I'm now patting it out and stretching it. Patting and stretching, patting and stretching. You want this to be pretty darn thin. So you can use a rolling pin if you want. Again, I can feel it's getting a little bit tacky, so I'm going to put a little bit more flour on there, and that will help me to spread it out. It doesn't have to be the perfect size and shape, and we're not going to be starting to throw it around the kitchen like the Italian chefs do. So you don't really want those holes that I've got in that one, but we'll be fine with that. So a bit more flour onto your baking sheet, like that. And I'm going to very carefully lift that and pop that on there, like that. And then once you've got it on the baking sheet, you can tap it out again. I'm just going to do the one now because I don't want to spend too much time on that. So we've got the board, the pizza there and the board here. And the first thing you're going to do is you're going to use your passata, which is a tomato paste. It's a tomato, it's a mixture of a tomato puree and fresh tomatoes which have been sieved down. I would suggest that you pour that into a bowl like that, and you then get a spoon and you very gradually pop that on top. There's really a lot of this tomato, so it will do your 2 or 4 pizzas, however many you're going to make. So the other thing is that you could have made one very large one and filled the whole lot up and done it square and then cut it into squares. It doesn't have to be the traditional round. Doesn't matter if you don't quite go over right up to the edge, because you'll see what happens, it will spread. So I think That looks good to me. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add some herbs to the top of that. We've given you some mixed herbs, and they'll be in a little pot, and all you need to do, she says, is just take a little pinch. The recipe says 1 teaspoon, so there's 1 teaspoon going on, and I'm just, as you can see, just drizzling it on the pizza. So now we're going to start adding our meat, vegetables, whatever. So you will have in your pack some sweet corn, some ham, some cheese, some mushrooms. So we're going to take a couple of slices of ham like that, and they're nice and they're small. We're going to just roll them up like that, like a cigar. Just going to move that out the way for a minute so you can see what I'm doing. And I'm going to very gently cut down into ribbons, just like that. And then these ribbons can go on the top of the pizza, like that. And then we've got a tin of mushrooms. Yours are sliced. Just going to take 2 or 3 of these and just very gently slice them down. Again, just pop them on like that. Got a lovely red pepper. There's a pepper in your bag as well. So if you want to start being creative, take a pepper, give it a quick wash. All fresh fruit and vegetables should be washed, because we just don't know where it's been at the moment. You don't know where any fruit and veg has been. It's probably travelled a long way, or it's been sitting around. It might be dusty. So give it a wash. You can dry it with a bit of kitchen paper if you want, or just, it's fine. So I'm going to cut this down into strips like this. Nice thin strips. I've got quite a sharp knife. You could use an ordinary kitchen knife for this, so that would do. Wouldn't cut quite as finely, but it will do. I'm conscious that not everybody has got sharp knives in their kitchens, and also if you've got children around, you don't want them using anything which is too sharp and dangerous. So I'm going to do a little star type thing, make it look pretty. You could try and make a face out of everything that you're doing. I love red pepper, and I like it when it's slightly cooked as well. So there's mine. I don't have any sweet corn. The shops have run out of it, even though the food bank has loads of it. So I shall add a little bit more mushroom to this. Of course, if you have got fresh vegetables, that's even better. But once again, we're trying to use items of food which have been donated to the food bank, and we've been really lucky that we've had a lot of items donated recently. So we're using some of the food that's been donated to the locality, and we're very happy. Really happy to be able to pass on the donations to you to enjoy in your kitchen. Now, we've got some grated cheese that will be in a small pack ready to go, and we're just going to put the grated cheese on the top like that. You can put as much or as little on. Do like a bit of grated cheese. And then I just want to finish that off with a tiny bit more of the herb. So I probably didn't put that full, just because I think that's really very nice. If you want, you could add a little bit of salt and pepper or a drizzle of oil. I don't think it needs it. That's going to go in the oven for, well, we'll just check what it says on the packet because you've got to read your instructions. So we're going to put it in the preheated oven at 200 degrees, as we said, gas mark 7, and it's on the baking sheet, as you know. This needs to sit for 10 minutes so that it just rises up a little bit. The packet says, just so you know, that actually once you've rolled it out you should have left it for 10 minutes, but as I'm demonstrating I didn't want to do that and waste your time, so that's fine. We can leave that for 10 minutes to just come up and rise while the topping's done. Then we're going to cook it for, it says 15 to 20 minutes, we'll see. I would have said 10 because we don't want to overcook it. I'm going to put this over to the other side of the kitchen for now, give it 10 minutes to rise up, and then we'll have a look at it again before it goes in the oven. So, back again, the pizza's had its 10 minutes in the oven, the buzzer's just gone off, so let's go to the oven and have a look and see what it looks like. So remember to be very careful when you get things in and out of the oven because they're very, very hot. So make sure you've got an adult with you to help you take the pizza out of the oven. So let's have a little look at this pizza. You can see it's cooked. You could cook it for a little bit longer to make it a little bit crispier on the top. I do have a tendency to overcook my pizzas and then they're too crispy and nobody likes to eat them. So I'm hoping that this would come straight off the tray. So there's a lesson that maybe, oh, there we are, just got to get in there. There was a lesson, even though I put flour on it, I didn't grease the tray because these are normally really good pans. I could have put it on some baking parchment. I'm not quite sure why it's stuck, but it has stuck. But never mind, I'll get it off afterwards. You do need to be able to get it off the baking tray. So I'm going to take the knife, if I can find a knife. I'm going to gently cut through, because I don't really want to cut the pizza, the baking sheet. So there we are, there's a piece of pizza ready cooked. I'm actually going to pop that back in the oven for another 5 minutes because I think it would probably improve with another 5 minutes of cooking. So there you have your pizza. It is cooked because you can see underneath the brown bit, but it's just a little bit soggy. But I think you'll agree that that probably go down quite well at lunch. That's quite a big pizza for a little one. So I hope you enjoy that. And we'll just put this over the side. That's come out of the oven now, it looks better. So 15 minutes in the oven is the ideal time, and you'll see it's nice and crispy and the cheese is nice, so that was really good.